The Minnesota Vikings and Cleveland Browns just finished up our second game in the London series overseas. And Minnesota, they end up pulling out the victory late. They score a touchdown on a pass from Carson Wentz. It was a pretty good throw over Denzel Ward in the corner of the end zone, the front corner of the end zone. And this was a decent win for Minnesota. I wouldn't say that this is the type of win that gets Minnesota back on track to try to win the NFC North or make a playoff push, but this was a good win to stay out and above the 500 winning percentage mark. And it's a team that they're better than. You know, even if Dylan Gabriel wasn't making his first career start, this is a team in Minnesota that offensively they just have more than Cleveland. Cleveland has a decent amount, especially with their rookies. I mean, Dylan Gabriel had a good game today. He got sacked only twice. He had 2 passing touchdowns with 0 interceptions. He was in decent control of this game. I wouldn't say he had a great or even good game, but I think in total his performance today was solid. I think where you look more is Quinshawn Judkins had over 100 yards. Harold Fannin had another touchdown today. David Njoku had a really good performance. There's not really a wide receiver you can point at for Cleveland and say this was a guy who made a difference. But I think that's going to just kind of be how this Cleveland Browns offense operates. They're going to get the tight ends involved with Harold Fannin and David Njoku. They're going to have the ball on the ground for a majority of the game with Quinshawn Judkins. And he proved why that's a good idea. Over 100 yards on basically 5 yards per carry. I don't know when the last time the Cleveland Browns had a rookie quarterback, especially in his first career start, have 2 passing touchdowns with 0 interceptions, and another rookie running back have over 100 yards on basically 5 yards per carry. This is a good look into the hopeful future for this Cleveland Browns offense where you have Quinshawn Judkins getting these. He didn't just get the tough yards up the middle, he got the long runs, the 10 to 15 yard plays that, make an offense really explosive. And I think Minnesota, this is a decent defense. It's not a good defense by any stretch of the imagination. They're not good against the pass. They're not good against the run. And I think that kind of manifested itself today because they didn't force any turnovers. They didn't force Cleveland to have a bad day on offense. And I think it's a bad sign. I don't know if it's a terrible sign, but it's not a great sign. Minnesota, where I think they're happy is, they had an okay game on the ground. Xavier Scott had a fumble, but other than that, Jordan Mason had a decent game on the ground. You look at what Carson Wentz did as the quarterback today, sacked 3 times, but went 25 of 34, 236 yards, and a touchdown. The kind of difference in this game is kind of the play to Jalen Naylor, or I guess I should say Josh Oliver, not Jalen Naylor, but the pass from Cam Akers to put this team on the board in the second half. They kind of needed the trick plays. They kind of needed to just grind out this game to keep it close, to get the win, and they did that. And I guess you have to give them their props for it, but I just don't think offensively they look good. I think they definitely were playing a really good defense, a team that knows how to defend the run, a team that knows how to defend the pass, and they still came out with the win at the end. Up next for Minnesota, they actually have a bye next week, so they don't play again for 14 more days. They play at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, but next week they're on bye. Not really much to look forward to, except for just trying to get healthy. Maybe J.J. McCarthy comes back, but from I think what we've seen from this offense, outside of the Bears game on opening night, I don't think this offense has performed well at all when J.J. McCarthy has been the guy at quarterback, and this team has scored 20 or more points in every single start for Carson Wentz so far. And so I think it makes more sense if you're trying to make the playoffs to keep Carson Wentz in the game or try to find a different quarterback. Because I think at times, even Carson Wentz, it's not looking like he's the guy to try to get this team to the playoffs. I don't know if there's another trade possibly to be made for somebody on the defensive side of the ball in this bye week. But to me, this doesn't look like a complete team. To me, this looks like a team that's going to have to grind out wins. And if they're playing an offense that has more explosive ability, more ability to put points on the board than this Cleveland team has, then they're going to be in trouble in those types of games. The Browns, on the other hand, go to Pittsburgh next week. It's kind of a tough way to maneuver this part of the schedule because they are in London today, they were in Detroit last week, and they're in Pittsburgh next week. So it's definitely not an easy way to start the Dylan Gabriel experience. But I guess it's a good way to say that this isn't going to get any easier. If anything, it's going to get harder. You just need to work harder. You just need to play better to try to win stretches, win games in these types of stretches. So it's going to be tough for them to go to Pittsburgh next week and try to win this game. Pittsburgh has been playing far, far above what I expected them to be at the beginning of this season. And to me, this is the type of the game where Pittsburgh, they're humming offensively. Defensively, they're able to make enough plays to make a difference and win games. That's going to be today's video. Possibly a video about the Jets-Cowboys game later today, but if anything, that's going to be later tonight. We do have the Sunday Night Football game tonight, and that's, if anything, that's going to be the game I make a video about, the New England-Buffalo game tonight. But again, there might only be this video today, and then probably more videos throughout the week. So if you want me to make a video about a specific game, specific team, specific player, let me know in the comments, and I'll probably do it.